In this video, we're going to talk about the 10 things, 10 ideas, 10 thoughts of time management, the alchemy of time that equals life management. That if you get to an understanding and a practical application of these 10 things, you will then turn your time management into the alchemical idea of lead to gold that will give you life management and provide for you the manifestation of life that you desire, the one that you claim that you deserve, and you do deserve it. But you have to get this into your scope of thinking and acting. This may seem boring to some. This title may not have caused the viral impact, but it doesn't matter, because these 10 things is what is required in order for you to make greater changes in your life. Now, before I do that, I want to say good morning to everybody. Welcome to this unprecedented opportunity for you to gain so much wisdom and get your life together. You have that every morning. Every morning you have the opportunity to get your life together. You know, whatever you did yesterday, the new day comes to you and it says, hey, I'm brand new. Hey, I'm here for you. Now, I hope that you've learned something from yesterday so that you can do better today. That's what life tells you every morning. So every morning, this is your opportunity. And today is a great opportunity. Now, in doing so, I want to introduce myself real quick. For those who are finding me for the first time, I'm Coach Renz. I'm your alchemy coach. We talk about the 360 degrees of your life on this channel. We talk about your love life, your relationship. We talk about your money, your wealth. We talk about your health, your body, and your spirit. And we talk about your spirituality. That's actually your spirit. When your health, we talk about your body and your food and your activity. So, and in your spiritual, we talk about you just becoming closer and united with whatever you determine God is, or whatever you determine nature is, or universe, whatever. It's all about you just getting better at it. All about you getting better at it. So I want to thank you guys for being here. And if you're shot with me at Uncle Renz Popcorn, bam, I appreciate you for buying any of the 25 flavors and turtles and everything else that we sell on UncleRenzPopcorn.com, urpopcorn.com, as well as all my coaching clients, and then everyone who supports me on Patreon. Once I get enough patrons, I'm going to hire a video editor to make these videos awesome. But, so yeah, patreon.com/Coach Renz. Now, let's get into this video, because I don't want to take all day, because we got 10 things to talk about. And y'all know I can talk. So we got to talk about 10 things, 10 ideas. Now, before I go there, let me give you a little background as to why this video became so important to me over the last few weeks. And that's right, over the last few weeks. Because a month or so ago, I made a decision. I made a decision based on information that I had. My son is going to take over Uncle Renz Popcorn in the near future. And I said, okay, I can now go out and do another thing that I've always wanted to do. And that is, I'm getting ready to take my real estate exam and become a real estate salesperson. And I'll become a realtor, because I will join the realtors little union group, whatever, membership. But it is not a simple plan. It is not just to sell houses. It is to lay the foreground of building a brokerage. And then after building a brokerage, but during the time frame of building a brokerage and being a salesperson, of building and amassing a real estate empire that I can pass on to my kids, or one that they can join in on and build even bigger. It's about becoming something more, utilizing my talents to become more than what I am currently today, and also bringing about that level of happiness and joy that I feel every time that I help somebody achieve their American dream, whatever dream of buying a house, buying property, starting a business, those sorts of things. And that's one of the things I do in my coaching program, is help people start businesses. So all of this had me thinking about my time. And I had to remove some things in order for me to get that back. But also, I started having conversations with young adults. These young adults are in a position that they cannot say what we say now. If I only knew back then what I know now, my life would be so much different. I try to pass this along to my children. I try to pass this along to any young person that would listen. And I was having dinner with this beautiful, beautiful woman. And then her daughter, her nephew, and then the daughter's boyfriend came in. He just started his career. So I was sat down and we was talking, having dinner, and I espoused to him how to use your time in order for you to be in a situation where by the time you're 35, you're financially set. And it's not just about being financially set for the sake of money. It's about having the opportunity to say, I can work and do the work that I choose. I can turn my hobbies into my lifestyle. I can travel and do whatever I determine. I can help whomever I decide I want to help. I can be a benefit to society however I decide that I'm going to be a benefit to society. That's what it's really about. And I'm having this conversation with him. I'm having this conversation with my daughters. I'm having this conversation with my son and any other young person I can put my hands on and talk to them about this sort of thing. But not just them, but for you too, and for me too. I'm 47 years old. What does that mean? I still got 20 years. I'll only be 67 in 20 years. In 20 years, I can build a real estate empire. But time management is vital to it. So, without further ado, because I've already taken like almost 6 minutes just to get here, we're going to talk about the 10 things that if you learn to develop the alchemy of time management, then time management will equal your life management. And the levels that you'll be able to achieve things will be amazing. So without further ado, let's talk about the first one. Now this is come from, it reminded me of, when I was having this conversation, it reminded me of when I was studying Marcus Aurelius back in the late 90s, and I was studying his Stoic philosophy, and I read his book Meditations. And from reading Marcus Aurelius, as well as then that led me to Seneca, and in reading Seneca, I looked at both of them together, and in understanding them together, I've used elements of this throughout my life in order to manifest the things that I have in my life, things that I've had in my life, positions that I've held, experiences that I've been able to have, the stories that I can tell. I've had all these things because I have used different parts of this, but now, let's put it all together. Let's put it all together, okay? So the first one is to treat your time like a commodity. You have to treat your time like it's so valuable that it is worth more than gold. You see, everything else in life, almost everything else, I ain't gonna say everything, almost everything else in life can be refurbished, can be replenished, I should say. The ocean replenishes itself constantly. Lakes constantly are replenished. Rivers continue to flow, and the river flow out. The Mississippi River flows out into the Gulf of Mexico, and the Gulf of Mexico flows out into the Atlantic, and so on and so forth to the Pacific and the Indian Ocean, Arctic Ocean, and it continuously is in the cycle of replenishing. Time, you can't replenish. Once this moment goes by, you can't get it back. It's gone. 2 days ago can never come back again. It's gone forever. You can't get that time back. I know that I said before that time is like a river ever flowing, and it's like a circle that you can pick out parts of time. That's about your memory, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But time in its literal self, you can't get back. Bam, that second is gone. You can't get it back. So you have to treat time as if it is the most valuable thing in the world, because it is. It is that valuable. Because you cannot, whatever you use your time for is going to reverberate throughout the rest of your life. So time has to be treated like it's the most valuable commodity you have. If you saw someone who was starving, who had no food, no home, but you saw them giving away all their food all the time, they're always just giving out their food, but they're starving, you would call that person foolish. You're starving, but you're giving away the thing that could make a difference in your life, the thing that could change your life. You're giving it away. Every time you give away unaccounted for time to Instagram, Facebook, to sitting, watching television all day, anytime you're just doing things for everyone else instead of taking care of your responsibilities, taking care of things that benefit you, you're giving away your time. You're not treating it like a commodity. You're not holding it close to your chest as if it's the most dearest thing to you. Hold it like a child that needs you, and then you will utilize it better. So you have to treat time like a commodity. And in understanding that first part, the rest, these other 9, will make sense. Number 2, don't overinvest your time preparing for life. This is not to say that you shouldn't prepare for life. This is not to say that you shouldn't prepare for tomorrow. This is just to say that do not spend so much of your time in preparation for the future that is not guaranteed. You are not guaranteed the next 40 years. I'm not guaranteed the next 20 years. Although I will start this real estate adventure in the next 20 days or less, and I have a 20-year plan, I recognize that today matters. How I spend my time today is what matters. Whom I spend my time with today matters. If I don't enjoy today, then tomorrow may be a wasted venture. Most people have been taught, especially my generation and older, were taught you graduate school, you work hard until you're 60 and 70, and then you go and you enjoy life. But all too often, you get to 60, 70, and you're too old to really enjoy life. You're looking back saying, man, I should have skydived. Man, I should have climbed that mountain. Man, I should have took that trip to Hawaii. Man, I should have backpacked across Europe. Man, I should have went to the safari adventures in Kenya. Oh man, I should have walked the Great Wall of China. And you're looking, and now you're 60, 70, and now you're saying, I would like to, but my body can't take it. Although you can get to that shape to do it, but your mind is now saying, I can't take it. It reminds me of when I was reading, and I recommend this book as well, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, and when the boy Santiago was talking, he was working in Morocco for the gentleman who sold teas and crystals, and I forget the guy's name. And the guy said he's always wanted to take that trip to Mecca, but he worked and he worked and he worked and he worked and he worked. And there's another lesson that's involved in that story, that part of the story. But one of the lessons that he worked and worked and worked and worked, and he saw people who had less money than him go to Mecca and come back rejuvenated, come back excited, come back connected to their spirituality. But he never went until he got so old that he said that he couldn't make the journey. He wouldn't be able to make the journey. He doesn't think he should make the journey. He had every excuse in the book. If you live life preparing for tomorrow, then you'll have every excuse in the book tomorrow to not do what you said that you was planning, that you was living this life for, that you was saving for. There's so many pieces of wisdom that say don't store up. Don't hold all these things up, waiting for tomorrow, that you can't take it with you. When you die, you can't take it with you. So enjoy the moment. This is where many say enjoy the journey. The journey of 1,000 steps starts with the first step. But you enjoy that first step, the lifting of the leg, the extension of the knee, the planting of the foot, the way the ground feels when your foot touches the ground, the movement of your body going forward. Understand and feel every aspect of the step. So prepare for tomorrow, yes, but do not over-invest in your preparation for tomorrow with your time. Recognize you work hard, we play hard. That is something we did in the Marine Corps all the time. We worked hard and we played hard. Sometimes we played a little too hard, but we played hard as well. So number 3, live life for you, for yourself. This is this is the biggest thing that has held me back in my life, my entire life. No, I can't say my entire life. Since I was 12. Since I was 12 years old, this has held me back the most. The things that I could have been doing, the way I could have lived. So when I was, a couple days ago, I was talking to this young man, and I was telling him how when I was 12, I decided at some point something happened, I don't know what, but I started living my life to please my brother, living my life to please my mom. Actually, I know exactly what happened. Leading up to 12 years old, I was very sought out for playing baseball. I was an extremely great baseball player coming up. But then my vision left me right around 12. and I couldn't see the pitch anymore. And mind you, up to 12 years old, I had only struck out 3 times my entire life. Mind you, I was throwing people out at second base from my knees when I was 9. So it was, I was headed in a great path. Definitely would have gotten to at least the farm teams if things would have been all things being equal. So I was explaining to him that I couldn't see anymore. Now my mom, she worked 2.5 jobs to take care of me and my brother and my sister. So when it was recognized that I needed glasses in order for me to continue playing baseball that way, I didn't want my mom to spend that money. I felt like I was taking too much from my mother if I asked her to buy me those glasses. Because glasses, the exam and the glasses itself and the upkeep, it's not cheap. And she was already spending this money for us to play baseball and trying to keep, we really didn't have a lot of food on the table. All the time we had to go to other family members' houses to eat. So I just had this thing clicked in me where I said, I can't live for myself. I got to live for other people. And I started doing that. And I started doing that, and that one time turned into the next time and the next time and the next time and the next time. And I developed this habit of living my life for other people. I developed this habit of making poor decisions with my time and my money and my health and my spirituality in order to make the other people around me happy. I forgot that I had to make me happy first. I had to take care of me. That the people around me aren't truly happy if I'm not happy. It's like I'm going to... And I've had this happen where my mother made food, had food for us. We're eating, but I'm noticing that she's not. She's sacrificing her eating for us. And for me, I felt bad eating. I couldn't enjoy the food because my mother wasn't eating as well. And even when I offered, she chose not to. She said, I'll eat later. But I knew in my heart that she wasn't going to eat anything. It's a great sacrifice. I understand that and I respect it. That's why we do so much to try to make sure our mother is enjoying her life right now. And we take her on trips and all these other things. But the point is, I understand what it's like to not live for yourself. I understand what it's like that, you know, when you're not happy and you're trying to do things to make other people happy, those people really aren't happy. Not if they love you. Not if they really love you. If they really care about you, they really respect you, they're not happy. You know, they can't enjoy it as much as they should because they know you're suffering. So, therefore, you have to live for yourself. So moving on to number 4. Number 4 is that you have to practice what in the ancient Roman times they call Premeditatio Malourm. That's Premeditatio Malourm. What that means is that you have to think about what could possibly go wrong if you don't do what you need to do right now. You got to think about that in terms of time management. Think about that in terms of procrastination, and this will help you to end your procrastination. You know that there are certain things that you have to do. Let me give you a simple one. If you don't pay your bill, your electric bill, right now, and it's due, and you got that past due statement, you know that if you don't pay right now, you're going to get that past due statement. Once you get the past due statement, if you haven't paid it and they give you a date, you know that they're going to send you now a cutoff date. If the cutoff date comes and you don't pay it, you know that the lights are going to get turned off. So, at the moment that you get your paycheck, the moment you receive your funding, and you know that your electric bill is one of the things that must come out of this money, don't wait till you get the bill. Don't wait till you get the past due notice. Don't wait till you get the turn off. Don't wait till you get turned off and then have to pay an extra fee and get turned off, and then you got to do other things and spend money in other ways. Pay it here. So Premeditatio Malourm is you thinking at this point, what would happen if I don't pay this bill? All the stages, but the final thing that happens. Premeditatio Malourm. What would happen if I go on an eating binge and eat horrible food for 2 weeks? You know that this is going to lead you into a habit of eating that way for a longer period of time, It leads to diabetes. It leads to high blood pressure. It leads to heart congestion. It leads to so many illnesses. So if you think about, I'm going to go to the gym. I don't feel like going to the gym, but I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to go climb the mountain. I'm going to go for the walk. I'm going to do the exercise, because I know that if I think about what will be the result if I don't do it, what will be the results if I don't eat well, what will be the results if I don't spend time with my loved one. That's the big thing in time management. If I ignore my lady, if I ignore my dude, what is the end result? Are they going to stay? And I honestly think many people in relationships don't consider this at all. It's one of those things that I used to say in group meetings and group therapy and one-on-one counseling and group and couples counseling. I used to say this when I still say this when I'm dating someone, getting married, whatever the situation is in a relationship. You have to always know that an end to this relationship is on the table. Always know. Premeditatio, Malourm. I always keep in my mind that if I'm standing in the drugstore, I see the card that says, just thinking about you. If I don't get it, I'll consistently not do what's necessary. And then eventually she's going to feel unloved, undesired, unwanted. And then that's going to create other issues. Buy the card. Eliminates all that. Buy the flowers. Eliminate all that. Go out on the date. Eliminate all that. Keep your body in shape. Eliminate all that. Do your finances well. Eliminate all that. If you keep all these things in focus and say that if I don't do all these things and I'm in a relationship with someone, then I know the end result can be divorce. Many people used to get upset with me because I would say, you have to keep divorce on the table. No, divorce is never on the table. Divorce is never. And I understand the meaning, the thought behind the idea that you don't ever want to, you want to always have a mindset of working it out. Well, instead of working it out, let's do the preventive maintenance. We know that if we are constantly doing the things that make our partner feel loved, then we don't have to worry about divorce because it won't be on the table. But we know we're doing these things to make sure that it stays off the table. Can you follow me in that logic? I need you to follow me in that logic. That right there, that piece right there, if you start doing that, will change so many things in your life. It would change so many things in your life if you start thinking about and considering, what is the negative effect if I don't do what I need to do right now? Marcus Aurelius used to always say, or he says in his meditation, and it's something that he's written many times, it's up to me. It's up to me. At the end of the day, whatever is happening in my life, whatever is going to happen in my life, is up to me. It's up to you. It really is. If your relationship ended, it was because of you. They may have played their part as well, but it was also a part that you played. If you're in financial despair, it's up to you to make the change, to do it differently. But it's you that got you there. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more as well. So, to continue with number 5, make long-term rewards immediately. When I was a personal trainer, I had so many clients that wanted to have cheat days. And I understand a cheat day. A cheat day is to say that if I have worked out all week very well, I've eaten well, right, all week, I need a reward at the end of the week for doing so well. Even though we had a long-term goal, what is the short-term reward? That works. Although I didn't like cheat days, I always like your reward is to do something for yourself. Go buy you a new shirt, a new pants, new dress. Go buy you some shoes. Go on a trip. Go do something. Go do something that's fun. Go on a date. Do something that didn't involve eating. Go get a massage. If at the end of the week you've done everything you needed to do as far as working out and eating right, treat yourself with an immediate reward of a massage. Even though your long-term goal may be to lose 70 pounds, have a reward set for you when you lose 5 pounds, another 5, 10, when you lose 10, when you lose 15, when you lose 20, and so on and so forth. Set rewards for your immediate goal. Because see, here's how your mind works. Your mind has a difficult time dealing with the long-term reward. This is another reason why you procrastinate. Because when you get ready to go to work, you're not thinking, you know the end goal, that you got to get these projects done, and you know the benefit of getting these projects done. You know that it increases your efficiency. It may, it ends a task for you. It helps you to get promoted. All these different things. You know them long term. But when you first walk into work, you just don't feel like it. Your mind, for most people, normally goes for the easiest thing you can possibly do and get rewards from it. So you go in, you have conversation, you start talking at the water cooler, as they say, with different people. You're talking about your weekend, you're talking about your week, you're complaining about a boss, you're complaining about a coworker. You're doing something different than getting your work done, because there's an immediate satisfaction that happens when you're having these conversations with people, and you either get the immediate satisfaction of talking down about somebody else to make yourself feel better, or you the immediate satisfaction of watching and scrolling through YouTube and Facebook and all that kind of stuff and seeing what's going on in other people's lives. You have this immediate satisfaction. Or you want to go on a trip and you say, oh, I'm going to take my first 10 minutes of the day, hour of the day, researching trips or things like that. We spend so much time in our vocation distracted, doing other things, because we're looking for there's an immediate satisfaction that your brain is looking for, and it's looking for the easiest one. So make goals for yourself. So there are YouTube videos. I'm a YouTubeaholic when it comes to watching YouTube, because I'm always want to watch some kind of informational video, and there is the frivolous as well. Hobby things that I'm into, and I may want to watch it. And I'll tell myself that no, if I finish the next 3 hours of study sessions, then I'll allow myself, I see that this particular person I subscribe to has made a new video, then I'll watch their video. But I got to do these first 5 sections first. I do these sections, I can watch that video. I give myself a reward to finish. Finish this, here's the reward. Finish that, here's the reward. Give yourself an immediate reward for your task, and you will find that your efficiency goes up. You won't waste as much time procrastinating. So 4 and 5 really work well together. So practicing Premeditatio Malourm, as well as making long-term rewards immediate, those things work very, very well together. So number 6, make the most of your free time. Make the most of your free time. One of the things that was interesting when I was in the Marine Corps, especially, this is very, very prevalent when I was in the Marine Corps, I had 2 things I always carried around with me. I had a day planner, which really just like managed my entire life. The jokes were always that if I ever lost that day planner, somebody could pick it up and run my life and be me. And it was funny because a movie was made similar to that like a few years after that was said. And then I always had a book. I was always reading a book. There are so many books I've read, but I was either reading like Black Rose, White Justice, ISIS Papers, History of Civilization, Autobiography of Malcolm X, Marcus Aurelius Meditations, the writings of Seneca, the Emerald Tablets, the Kabbalion. I was always reading something. Outwitting the Devil is a book I've been reading over and over again here recently. I'm always reading. My free time is reading. I'm always encouraging my mind to expand itself during my free time. If I'm not reading, I'm meditating. If I'm not meditating, then I need to be exercising. If I'm not doing those things, then I'm spending time with my loved ones. And it's not frivolous time. I'm spending quality time with them. Always make the most of your free time. If you want to change your life, you want to get out of your job, leave the rat race, then when you get in traffic, you drive in traffic for an hour, 2 hours, you get to work, you're there for 8-9 hours out of the day. You have your lunch. So in that drive time, are you listening to news, which is just giving you negative energy, or are you listening to things that motivate you and don't want to drive like me? Listen to me. Are you listening to your favorite speaker as you drive? Are you listening to your spiritual advisors as you drive? what are you doing during that hour and a half? Or are you just mad and fussing at traffic? When you get to work and you have that lunch break or that midday break or that mid-morning break or mid-evening break, do you go for a walk because you want to get healthier? Do you go for a walk? Do you exercise? Is there a gym there? Is there a reading group in your at your office? Is there a Toastmasters organization? Is there something there or something you can start to increase your efficiency of your time so that it's bettering you? If that's not what's going on, then you're not making the most of your free time. When you do get home, do you just like, oh, I'm glad to be home, and I'm just like, I just want to lay here. I don't want to do nothing. I just want to veg out. Oh, I got to make dinner. Oh, I got the kids. And then the evening comes, like, oh, I just want to watch mindless TV. But yet, you say you want to turn your hobby into an enterprise. I'm working with a young man. We'll have our first session here real soon, working with a young man.